to me, they understand, they talk to me.
Here is an in-depth exploration of wrestling, covering its history, types, techniques, cultural impact, and more. History of wrestling. Wrestling can be traced back to prehistoric times, with depictions in cave paintings over 15,000 years old. Ancient cultures, including the Greeks, Egyptians, and Sumerians, practiced forms of wrestling, making it one of humanity's earliest sports. Wrestling in ancient Greece. Wrestling was a prominent sport in ancient Greece, central to their athletic culture. It was featured in the ancient Olympic Games and celebrated as a contest of strength, technique, and endurance. Roman wrestling. The Romans adopted Greek wrestling but modified it for more practical combat, focusing on grappling techniques that could be used in real battles. Roman wrestlers often fought in public arenas, drawing large crowds. Wrestling in the Middle Ages. During the Middle Ages, wrestling was popular across Europe, often part of village fairs and festivals. It was practiced by knights as a means of physical training and was also a pastime among commoners. Modern wrestling emerges. In the 19th century, wrestling began to formalize with standardized rules and weight classes, giving rise to the Greco-Roman and freestyle forms that are familiar today. Types of wrestling. Today, wrestling is divided into various styles, including freestyle, Greco-Roman, folk style, catch wrestling, sumo, and professional wrestling, each with unique rules and techniques. Freestyle wrestling. Freestyle wrestling allows competitors to use their legs for both offense and defense, enabling a broader range of moves than Greco-Roman, making it popular worldwide. Greco-Roman wrestling. In Greco-Roman wrestling, wrestlers are restricted from using or grabbing their opponent's legs, emphasizing upper body strength and throws. It's a staple in the Olympic Games. Olympic wrestling. Both freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling are Olympic sports, showcasing some of the world's best wrestlers in a highly competitive setting. Wrestling has been part of the Olympics since 1896. Folk-style wrestling. Popular in the United States, folk-style wrestling is similar to freestyle but has unique rules, particularly regarding control and scoring. It's commonly practiced at high school and collegiate levels. Catch wrestling. Catch wrestling, or catch as catch can, originated in the UK and emphasizes submission holds. It influenced the development of modern mixed martial arts, MMA, and professional wrestling. Sumo wrestling. Sumo wrestling is a Japanese form of wrestling with a 1,500-year history. Wrestlers aim to force their opponent out of a circular ring or to the ground, with intense training and ritual. Professional wrestling. Unlike other styles, professional wrestling combines athleticism with entertainment, featuring scripted storylines and characters. Promotions like WWE make it a global phenomenon. Wrestling techniques. Wrestling requires a diverse set of techniques, including takedowns, throws, pins, and escapes, with each style emphasizing different moves based on the rules. Takedowns. Takedowns are fundamental to wrestling, allowing wrestlers to bring their opponents to the mat and gain control. Common takedowns include the double leg, single leg, and hip throw. Throws. Throws are used to lift and project an opponent onto the mat, often scoring highly in competitions. They're essential in Greco-Roman wrestling, where upper body throws dominate. Pins. A pin, or fall, occurs when a wrestler holds their opponent's shoulders on the mat for a certain time, securing an instant victory in many wrestling styles. Escapes. Escaping from an opponent's hold or control position is a key skill, often rewarded with points. Wrestlers learn various methods to break free or reverse a hold. Wrestling scoring. Scoring in wrestling depends on the style, but points are awarded for takedowns, escapes, reversals, and near falls, rewarding both offensive and defensive maneuvers. Wrestlers training. Wrestling demands rigorous training to build strength, endurance, agility, and technique. Wrestlers often undergo intense conditioning, drilling, and sparring sessions. Physical conditioning. Physical conditioning is critical, with wrestlers working on strength, stamina, and flexibility. Training includes weightlifting, running, and high-intensity drills. Mental toughness. Wrestling is as much a mental challenge as it is physical. Wrestlers cultivate resilience, focus, and strategic thinking, essential for success in matches. Weight management. Wrestling competitions are divided by weight classes, so wrestlers carefully monitor their weight, often undergoing weight cuts to qualify for specific categories. Youth wrestling. Youth wrestling introduces young athletes to the sport's fundamentals, emphasizing skill development, discipline, and sportsmanship. Wrestling in MMA. Wrestling skills are crucial in mixed martial arts, with many MMA champions possessing a wrestling background. Wrestling provides a strong foundation for takedowns and control. Cultural significance. Wrestling holds cultural importance worldwide, with many societies seeing it as a rite of passage, spiritual practice, or symbol of masculinity. Wrestling in India. In India, wrestling, kushti or pelwani, is a traditional sport with deep roots. Practiced in akharas, or wrestling pits, it combines physical discipline with spiritual values. Traditional African wrestling. African countries have traditional wrestling styles, often tied to festivals and ceremonies, showcasing athleticism and cultural pride. Wrestling in the Middle East. Wrestling has a long history in the Middle East, with traditional forms like Turkish oil wrestling, where competitors cover themselves in oil for increased difficulty. WWE popularized professional wrestling worldwide. Wrestling movies and media. Wrestling has inspired numerous movies, books, and TV shows, often dramatizing the life of wrestlers and the intense dedication they exhibit. Wrestling moves in pop culture. Wrestling moves like the suplex, powerbomb, and armbar have become iconic, often featured in action movies and video games. The science of wrestling. Sports science has improved wrestling techniques and training, with biomechanical analysis helping athletes optimize movements and reduce injury risks. Wrestling tournaments. Wrestling tournaments, from local meets to international championships, draw large audiences. Events like the NCAA Championships and the Olympics are especially popular. Wrestling's future. Wrestling continues to evolve, with innovations in training and promotion, expanding audiences and ensuring its status as a globally beloved sport. Wrestling as a life skill. Beyond competition, wrestling teaches valuable life skills, including discipline, perseverance, and respect for opponents, benefiting athletes in all areas of life. Wrestling's diversity and universal appeal make it a timeless sport, appreciated for its physical demands, strategic depth, and cultural significance. Whether viewed as a competitive sport, art form, or entertainment spectacle, wrestling captures the human spirit and remains a celebrated part of global culture. This video is for educational purpose only. Please do not try at home. Please subscribe the channel to get notified my videos, like and share this video to spread knowledge. Thank you.